Good afternoon, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. Purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has been committed, and more likely than not that you're the person who's committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, or this afternoon, I presume that you're innocent to those allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the charges against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release today, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be, and if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom here with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you who's there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Now, I'll solemnly swear or affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Kristen Butterfield. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
9/10/92.
Kristen, the charge is driving under the influence. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Private counsel.
Very good. State what you tell me.
Your Honor, I do not see any criminal history at this time.
Okay. And young lady, I've got an address for you on Beach Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
12 years.
And do you have a job these days?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm a nurse.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $500. I'm going to have you back in court on the 16th of January. When you speak to your attorney, make sure you tell him about that date, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Brianne Lucy? Want to miss what's your date of birth?
4282.
All right, Brianne, the charge is trespass. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Yes.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Your Honor, I have some out-of-state history from Tennessee that involves...
Not for today, though, right? Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking if you'd like a lawyer to represent you in this case.
Yes.
Okay, I did that. Okay, go ahead, State.
Your Honor, she has a prior criminal history from Tennessee that looks like some possessions and some false names. I also have another state, looks like New Jersey, where I have some credit card fraud and issues there. And then I have Florida, and it looks like her most recent in Florida was last year in 2017. I have some possessions, introduction of contraband that was adjudicated on 2016, a child neglect that was dropped in 2009, 10. I've got a DUI in possession again.
All right. And Brianne, have you been staying someplace or staying with friends or living outdoors? What's going on?
I was there because I went to...
No. Don't tell me why you were there. I just want to know where you live.
No, I don't have a place right now. I want to go to the state facility.
Okay. I'll set your bond at $500. I'll have you back in court on the 11th of January. If you get out, make sure you go see the public defender right away, okay?
Okay, James.
Thank you. Lisa Maynard? Lisa, what's your date of birth?
2797.
You said I have two charges today. I've got a loitering and a resisting without. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Yes, please.
Appoint the PD, state.
Your Honor, the state would offer her time served today based upon her lack of history.
Okay. Lisa, you have the option this morning, this afternoon, if you wish. You could plead no contest to these charges. If you did that, I'd sentence you to 1 day in the jail, which you've already done. There'd be a fine and court costs that would get assessed, but it would be just like any other bill that you have to pay. But you'd get out of jail today, and this case would be over with. If that's something you're interested in, we can do that now. If you'd rather have a chance to try to bond out and then speak to a lawyer, you can do that as well.
No, I'd like to just be released today.
All right, so you're willing to plead no contest to these charges?
That's fine.
Okay, and you understand by entering such a plea, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer. Do you want to give up those rights so we can resolve this right now?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I'll unappoint the public defender. Then as to the charge of loitering, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
Yes, sir.
And as to the charge of resisting without, how do you wish to plead? You may also plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept those pleas. I'll find they're freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty on both counts. 1 day in the county jail on each count. Credit 1 day served. Fine and court costs on count 1 is $553. On count 2 is $88. And the cost of incarceration for the 1 day. But that takes care of it, Lisa. If there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you'll be released today, and this case is all done, all right?
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Have a great day.
You do. Elijah Cordell.
Yes, sir.
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
1/10/1989.
All right. Charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
Your Honor, I have a grand theft from December 2017 out of Tampa with no disposition. And then
Just drop.
in 2012, I have probation violations with evidence tampering, convictions, possession of meth conviction, and obviously good old paraphernalia is in there. And then it goes back to 2008. 2012, I have another RICO case that he was adjudicated guilty on. And then probation violations in 2007, looks like 2 of those, and that was on grand theft charges, and a failure to appear in 2007 as well.
All right. So, sir, I have an address here on Lalmer Road in Dade City. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
Couple months.
All right. And Miss Walker lives there as well?
No, she went back home to her mother's because she came over to stay and she didn't do a statement, but I told my mom I wouldn't be able to come home unless she left.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. Was she living there yesterday?
No, she was over visiting, but that was
Okay,
her address.
all right,
That's the
all right.
address.
And you have a job these days?
I work at cooking at Appleberry's in Plant City.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Miss Walker. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. You don't contact her through any social media. You don't have a third person contact her. You don't go where she lives. You don't go where she works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond will be revoked and you'll be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision she gets to make. She might go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. She may tell them she's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I have to hold you this afternoon up until 4 o'clock so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. I'm going to have you back in court on January 16th. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out, all right?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure can.
I want to know if there's way you go ROR, because without me going to work, I can't bond out, and I have a court date in Polk County on a case that's supposed to get dropped on the 7th, and I won't be
Okay,
able to make it.
the answer is, the law requires me to set a monetary bond, and the $1,000 that I set is what I think is reasonable, so that's what it's going to be. Thank you. Richard Haynick? Wonder, Richard, what's your date of birth?
10/11/1984.
And Richard, you're also here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There is probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, if you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State.
Your Honor, in 2014, I have a DV battery and a harassing a witness out of Hernando with no disposition. 2013, I have probation violations. 2012, I have some thefts with no disposition. 2010, I have an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon that looks like it was dropped down to just a simple assault, in a possession of controlled substance as well. 2006, I have a DV battery in which he received a PTI for, and then another drop battery in 2006. And then in 2004, out of state, I have an assault and disorderly conduct.
All right. Richard, I have an address for you on Powell Road in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
I've been there for about 6 months now.
All right. And does Ms. Olson live there as well?
Yes, she stays there.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, I collect disability, sir.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. Condition of the bond is that you not have any contact with Ms. Olson. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Also going to hold you up until 4 p.m., so if she wants to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. And then in your case, as long as she stays at that address on Powell, you'll have to find somewhere else to stay until we get this case resolved. You can go by one time to collect your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to go. To do that, however, pardon me, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They would meet you there with a deputy who will stand by while you pick up your things and get going where you're going. I'll have you back in court on January 11th. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank
you.
you. Daryl Cockerford?
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Daryl. What's your date of birth?
4/11/1988.
All right, Daryl, this is a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a VOP. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I need the public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on the warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I am going to change the date. They told you the 16th of January. I'm going to have you back on the 8th. And,
Thank you.
And the public defender is going to come see you before then, okay?
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Adam Crossley. Morning, Adam. What's your date of birth?
11/21/78.
Adam, you are here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt as well. In your case, apparently you failed to appear in his court on the 1st of November on 3 charges, 2 counts of possession of controlled substance, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. As to those charges, you're representing yourself, you got private counsel, or you have the public defender.
Public defender.
All right, we'll continue with the public defender. Unfortunately, Judge Merritt set your bonds at no bonds. So I'm not going to change that. I will change the date. I'll have you back to see him. Same thing. Instead of the 16th, you'll be back on the 8th, and your PD will come see you before that, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Ryan Farrell. Ryan, what's your date of birth?
12/24/92.
All right, Ryan, you're here on a writ of bodily attachment. What that means is that a child support hearing officer and a circuit judge determined that you owe some child support. They set a cash purge of $1,070. Do you have that much cash, Ryan?
I do not.
All right. Are you working these days? Hang on a second. Are you working these days?
I have employment waiting for me as soon as I'm out of incarceration.
Okay. And how long has it been since you worked?
Since I've worked, well, I've been incarcerated for 6 months,
Oh, really?
and maybe about a month and a half before that, I lost employment because of new health conditions.
Okay. Let's see. 6 months. When did you, what were you incarcerated for?
Marchman Act violation of probation, one in Hillsborough County and one in Pasco County.
Okay. Do you remember the day that you went into custody?
June 18th,
Okay.
2018.
Okay. All right. Is there any amount of money, Ryan, that you or someone on the outside could get to the jail if it meant getting out of jail today?
Well, that's what I was going to explain was that the most that I could come up with is $200, maybe $300 out of that purge amount, and I could pay that within 24, 48 hours of release just because I have to get to the cash on outside and come back.
Okay, that's what you're saying. But you'd have to get out to get the money is what you're telling me.
Yes, Your Honor, unfortunately. But it's there and it's waiting.
Okay, what I'm going to do for you, Ryan, I'll find you're in contempt for your failure to pay child support. The sanction for that contempt is 10 days in the county jail, and then I'll give you credit for 10 days served. So you've done the sanction already. So they're going to let you out today, all right? Presuming all your other criminal issues are done. I don't know if you're still serving time on something else, but you're done on this. That means they'll let you out today. That does not take care of your child support problem. As soon as you get out, you should get to child support enforcement and get them some money and get something set up, because if you don't take care of this issue, it's just going to start over again and you'll wind up getting arrested again, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Good luck. Michael Fusco. Mr. Fusco, what's your date of birth?
10/21/96.
Mr. Fusco, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for one count of burglary of a dwelling. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender?
I'll appoint
the lady...
Hang on. Michael, don't say a word. I'll get to you. Just be quiet for a second. State, what can you tell me?
Your Honor, his criminal history indicates there's an out-of-state history, but I do not have that in front of me today. As far as Florida, in 2015, I have a misdemeanor marijuana and a few theft charges with no dispositions.
Okay. All right. And let's see. Michael, I have an address for you on Goolsby Street in Webster. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
About 6 months.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm an electrician.
Okay. All right. If there's something else you want to tell me, you can, but don't tell me anything about the crime or the alleged crime, okay?
The lady is supposed to be dropping the charge today, but I haven't been appointed anybody.
Okay, well, here's the answer. If you were listening earlier, with all criminal charges, it's not up to any lay person to drop charges. The only people that can drop charges are the state attorney's office. People can go to the state attorney's office and ask for the charges to be dropped, but that doesn't mean they'll do it, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I'm getting out. I want to get out because I don't want to miss out on Christmas with my babies.
Okay, well.
Is there any way that you can set my bond lower?
I am setting your bond lower, but you keep talking, and so I don't get to get there. All right, I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. I'm going to have you back in court on the 16th of January. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Tyler Hawkins. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
9/20/95.
Tyler, this charge this afternoon is trespass. There's probable cause for that. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like the public defender?
Public defender?
Appoint the PD, state.
Your Honor, based upon his criminal history, the state would offer 10 days at first appearance.
Tyler, if you're interested, the state's offering 10 days. If you want to resolve it right now, you'd have credit for 1 day served, 2 days served. So you'd have 8 more to do. If that's something you want to do, we can do that right now. If you'd rather have a chance to speak to the public defender first, of course, if you can do that, I'll set your bond and we'll go from there.
Straight.
You'll take the 10 days?
Yeah.
Very good. You understand by entering a plea today, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer represent you, but you want to give up those rights so we can resolve this today?
I guess.
Very good. Well, you can't say I guess. You got to tell me that's what you want to do.
Sure, yeah.
All right.
Sure.
As to the charge of trespass, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea. Find it's freely and voluntarily made. I will adjudicate you guilty of the charge, sentence you to 10 days, credit 2 days served. Finding court costs is $553 and your cost of incarceration, but that takes care of it, Tyler. You just got to do the 8 days and you're all done, all right? Gary Lineker. Morning, Gary. What's your date of birth?
4265.
There it is. Gary, the charge is grand theft auto. There's probable cause for the charge. As to the charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
If it's not grand theft auto, she loaned me the car.
Gary, I don't want to talk about the facts. I just found probable cause, so we're done with the facts. I want to know if you want the public defender or not.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Appoint the public defender, State.
Your Honor, earlier this year, he had a misdemeanor driver license suspended, adjudicated guilty, and his history goes back to 2012 with violations of probation. It looks like some misdemeanor marijuana charges and some possession of controlled substances, more violations of probations as we go back into the early 2000s for driving charges, DUIs, and possession of drugs.
Okay. Gary, I have an address for you on Peyton Place in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
A little over 2 years.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
I'm self-employed.
What do you do?
Lead model homes.
Okay. I'll set your bond at $1,000, Gary. I'm going to have you back on January 16th. If you get out, make sure you contact the public defender's office right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. John Perfect? Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
02/28/91.
You're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently you failed to appear in his court last week, it looks like, on 2 counts of possession of controlled substance, 1 count of possession of marijuana, 1 count of possession of paraphernalia. As to those charges, you represent yourself. You got private counsel or the public defender?
Public defender, please.
All right. Appoint the public defender. Bonds on the warrant are $10,000 on the 3 felony charges and $1,000 on the misdemeanor. I can't change those. That's a total of $31,000. I will change the date. They told you the 16th. I'm going to have you back on the 8th. If you're able to bond out, the PD will come see you. You should go see the PD. If you're unable to bond out, they'll come see you before you go to court again. All right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Richard Robinson.
Hello, young.
Hello, Richard. Date of birth?
11/9/78, sir.
Okay. Well, Richard, what I have is a warrant signed by Judge Heinemann for 1 count of written threats to kill or do bodily harm. So he found probable cause, and then they have a note that says it's already set on the 21st. It's already set for Friday?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
He's already incarcerated in the Department of Corrections.
Okay.
I believe he filed a demand for speedy, so it got
That's why he's here. All right, Richard, you're going to represent yourself. You want the public defender? You got private counsel?
Right now I came pro se, but I think I'm gonna need an attorney, sir. You know.
You tell me if you want the public defender. I'll appoint him.
I think I'm gonna need an attorney. I'm not smart enough for the law, you know.
Okay. Well, I know plenty of attorneys who aren't smart enough for the law, but
I
that's
understand that.
another story.
Right.
I'll go ahead and appoint
You know
the
what I
public defender because I can tell you the people in the public defender's office here are definitely smart enough, and they'll be able to help you out. Okay.
I appreciate that, Your Honor.
All right. So then I'm going to go ahead and set a bond on this. Obviously, you're serving a sentence, so you can't bond out. I'll set a bond of $10,000, and then it looks like you're already set for the 21st of December. And it may be that the PD doesn't get out to see you tomorrow, but they'll see you before you talk to the judge. They'll have a chance to meet with you before you decide what's happening next. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Then one other thing, Richard. We got one other thing. I also have a writ of bodily attachment, which means somebody determined that you owe some child support. Obviously, you're not in a position to pay child support because you're serving a prison sentence, right?
Yeah, Your Honor, I already did a hold in advance on it, and the motion was granted, you know.
Well, Richard, what I'm going to do is find that you're not willfully failing to pay child support. My guess is you didn't tell them that you wanted to be in prison just so you could not pay child support.
Right.
So I will just find that you're not in contempt, and that'll be the end of that. Obviously, somewhere down the road when you get out, you'll have to deal with this. But
you
got bigger fish to fry now, all right?
Oh, yeah, plenty of them.
All right.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Daniel Smart. Morning, Daniel. What's your date of birth?
12/24/1972.
All right, Daniel, you're here on a warrant. It's a fail to appear warrant on a misdemeanor case. Do you know what it is, State?
Yes, it's a driver license suspended. He was originally offered 6 months probation with some conditions. State's going to offer time served.
That's what I was getting at. There you go. All right, so Daniel, if you want to resolve this today, you can take time served. I'd sentence you to the 1 day that you've served and assess the fine and court costs. In this case, would be over. You wouldn't have to worry about going to court anymore. Does that sound like something you'd like to do?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Case number 18, CT 2908. As to the charge that you drove knowing your license was suspended or revoked, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea, find that it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the county jail, credit 1 day served. Fine and court costs is $488, $50 for the day in jail. But that takes care of it, Daniel. There's nothing else keeping you in the jail. You'll be released today, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. And then Angela Vassalero. And it looks like she wants to plead out to a VOP.
Yeah, I believe, Your Honor, the deal was just time served. She just Monday took felony probation.
Okay, do we know?
Right, I got a note from our attorney said time served. And
Right. Do we know what the time is? Angela, how long have you been in jail?
I've been here 32 days, sir.
Okay. And can somebody, do I have a case number?
2018 MM1423.
Yes.
1423. All right, Angela, you understand by entering an admission to a violation of probation, you give up the right to have a trial to the court, the right to confront the witnesses against you. Do you want to give up those rights so we can resolve this case today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Case number 18 MM1423, do you admit that you violated your probation?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. I'll accept the admission, Angela. I'll find it's freely and voluntarily made, revoke and terminate the probation unsuccessfully, adjudicate you guilty of the underlying charge if that wasn't done before. Sentence you to 30 days in the county jail, credit 30 days served. There'll be $100 cost of prosecution, and I will not order the cost of incarceration because I'm sure that happened in circuit court. That takes care of this case. If there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you'll be released today so you can get started on your probation, all right?
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You bet.
Have a good holiday.
Thank you. And Lexus, roll on. Lexus, have you changed your mind about signing the waiver?
Yes, I mistakenly chose to fight extradition.
Lexus, it happens. It happens all the time. We'll have you sign the waiver right now. And it has nothing to do with your rights in the criminal case, Lexus. All of those rights are still intact. This is just about getting you back to Pennsylvania as quickly as possible.
Okay. I'm just reading it over real quick.
That's fine.
Sir, I just had one question.
Sir, go ahead.
Because I'm supposed to have court January 10th.
Right? You have a public
well-
defender here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, they will know where you were, that you won't have any problem with that, because they'll know what happened, and you will not willfully be failing to appear if you happen to be in the court system up in Pennsylvania, all right? So they'll let the judge down here know, and frankly, I assume what'll happen is once they're finished with whatever they're going to do in Pennsylvania, they'll get you back here to finish what's here, okay?
Could you ask him the attorney's name?
Yeah, do you know which PD's name is?
Barbara Jo Bale.
Okay, very good. Yeah, she's good. She'll know what to do.
Thank you, sir.
All right, have you signed it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So, Alexis, the state of Pennsylvania or the Commonwealth will be notified right away that you're here and ready to go. I'll give them 15 days to come get you. If you're still here in 15 days, they're going to bring you back to see me, and I'm going to find out what the holdup is, okay?
Okay.
All right, very good. Thank you. All right, anything else, Joe?
You got nothing, Your Honor.
All right, awesome.